Hello, dear students. I welcome you all on behalf of Sri Jayendra Rangun classes. Dear students, we are in a continuation of the chapter that is Morphology of Flowering Plant. Dear students, in the some of the previous classes, we have completed the vegetative parts of the angiosperm, that is root, stem, and leaf in detail. Apart from that, we have also dealt with inflorescence, that is the arrangement of flower on the floral axis and its type in detail. Now in today's lecture, in a previous lecture actually we have studied the arrangement of flower, but in today's lecture we are going to deal with the flower. What we are going to deal with? Flower. And in this flower we will discuss that actually of which part it is made up of, how it get formed, and how these floral parts of this flower are associated or arranged in a different way. That actually we are going to study in this topic today. Okay, so let's talk about the flower. And we know that flower is a reproductive unit of angiosperm. When we talk about reproduction in angiosperm, from class 10th onwards, we know that angiosperms are the flowering plant. They have flowers. And this flower is actually a mean for a sexual reproduction. The sexual reproduction which occur in angiosperm, that is due to the presence of the flower. And this flower has a sexual sex organs. Now it is known that in previous lecture also we have studied that the stem get modified and form a flower. So it is a modified stem with the node and internode, and leaves at each node are modified into floral leaves. So at each node you will see that the leaves are modified into the floral leaves. A typical flower has four different kind of walls, and this walls is nothing but a group, and that is a group of four different types of floral leaves. So if you see in a flower, you will see that there is a presence of calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. So here we are talking about the wall. Wall is nothing but a group. You know that a group of sepal is a calyx. So sepal is a modification of particular leaf. A petal is also a modification of leaf. It is also a floral leaf. And the group of petal is known as what? Corolla. Same way, stamen and carpel are also the floral leaves. So they are arranged successively on the swollen ends of the stalk or pedicel called the thalamus. This all floral parts like calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium or four walls are arranged on a swollen end of this pedicel. The swollen end of pedicel is known as thalamus or receptacle. When it is somewhat more flattened, then it is called as the thalamus is called as the receptacle. And these four walls are calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. So if we talk about the flower, in this flower, you will see that you can see that this is the thalamus, okay, which is a particular end part of the pedicel. Here you will see the sepals, okay, and the group of sepals is known as calyx, okay. This sepal is a modification of leaf and it is greenish in color. Then these are the petal, colored petal. The group of petal is known as corolla. Group of sepal is known as calyx, or wall of a sepal is known as calyx. Then this is the particular this part, if we talk, which has a anther and filament, that part is known as stamen, and its group is known as androecium. Then the style, stigma, and ovary. This is the part of this structure and this whole structure is known as carpel, and the carpel group is known as gynoecium. Now you know that this carpel is divisible into the stigma, swollen end, then this structure that is style, and this whole part is ovary. Same way, androecium has a particularly anther at this part, and this is a filament. Now, dear students, these two are the reproductive organ. This androecium and gynoecium, these two are the reproductive wall, and this calyx and corolla are a non-reproductive or vegetative wall. Okay, so this is the particular thing which is seen in case of this. Now, in the flower, if we talk about this in much more detail, then this carpel is also known as pistil. So here it is labeled as a pistil, which is also known as carpel. The stamen we have studied. In the particular here, pollen tube develops, sepal petal, that all things we have discussed. In ovary, you will find a presence of ovule. How? We will discuss. Receptacle, when the end of the pedicel is flattened, then it is known as receptacle. And in a flower, actually this parts, this is a schematic diagram, but this is the actual diagram of this particular flower. In this, sepals are greenish in color, which are looking like here. Then you can see the particular, these are the petal which are colored. Then this is the style, and this is the ovary, so it is representing a carpel. This is the receptacle, this is the stem or pedicel. Okay, and here you will see this is the particularly going part which will show the stem. So such a way, these are the different floral parts. In this, the reproductive floral parts, that is the androecium and gynoecium, are considered as essential walls. Okay. Now, calyx corolla are accessory walls. Actually, non-essential walls are calyx and corolla, and they are also known as accessory walls. Why they are named as accessory walls? Because after reproduction, when the fruit get formed, actually calyx and corolla are particularly weathered off, means they are removed or they fall after the formation of fruit from the flower. So because of this, they are not continuously with the particular plant parts. They are up to a certain period in the flower, then they fall. So because of this, it is known as non-essential organ. Androecium and gynoecium are reproductive organ or essential organ, and this is the corolla, this is the calyx, this is the androecium, gynoecium, which we have discussed now, just now. In some flowers like lily, the calyx and corolla are not distinct. Dear students, one of the important things, the calyx and corolla are not distinct, they are not easily differentiable. Then at that time, the common term for the fused calyx and corolla is used, that is a perianth. Now, this perianth is considered as a group of tepal. Okay, see, this is the perianth. Okay, and it is considered as perianth is a group of tepals, and tepal represent what? Fused sepal and petal. So when the tepals are fused, sepals and petals are fused, they are going to form tepals, and its group, it is a perianth. Okay, we know that the group of sepal is particularly calyx, and the group of petal is nothing but a corolla. When a flower has both androecium and gynoecium, that type of flower are known as bisexual flower. Means has both male sex organ and the female sex organ. It has a male reproductive part as well as female reproductive part. Then this flower is considered as a bisexual. But when flower have either of these two, either stamen or carpel, both reproductive organ are not present in one, only one out of these two is present, then it is known as unisexual flower. So this is the bisexual flower. Why it is a bisexual flower? Because it is having a what? Stamen as well as we can see the stigma ovary. So it is a what part of carpel. So both stamen and carpel are present, because of this it is bisexual. But another one is the what particular you can see the unisexual. In this unisexual you will see here the presence of what a carpel, and here you will see the presence of what a stamen. So unisexual male flower can be there, and unisexual male flower has only stamen, carpel is absent. Whereas unisexual female flower are there which has a carpel but stamen are absent. Okay. Now let's talk about some of the easy questions. Which is the reproductive part in plant? And dear students, it is the easiest question which we know very well, because stem, root, and leaf are the vegetative parts. So flower is a reproductive part. Okay. Now, which of the following is a reproductive organ? So sepals, gynoecium, stipule, and calyx. Okay. Just we have studied that calyx is a non-essential or accessory sex organ or non-reproductive organ. So it cannot be the answer. Okay. Sepal is a group of sepals group is calyx itself, so it should not be the answer. Stipule is the small leaf like structure at the base of leaf. So that is also not a reproductive organ. So the remaining is gynoecium. So gynoecium is the correct answer because it is a group of, we can say, a carpel. So that becomes the correct answer. This flower has both androecium and gynoecium. When both androecium and gynoecium are present, we know that they are known as bisexual flowers. So answer is bisexual flower. Now I hope you are wondering that what are these golflower? Unisexual flower, you know, that can be having a stamen, either stamen or a carpel, not both. Then it is unisexual. But what is golflower? Golflower is also a sterile female, unisexual female flower. But this sterile unisexual female flower is found in hypanthodium inflorescence. Okay, so that is the thing. Now, the flower which is either stamen or carpel, if any one of them is present, then it should be considered as a unisexual flower. Okay. So till now we are just having the we can say the initial just intro of the what is flower. Now we are going to talk about some of the characteristics of the flower. And here we are going to talk about the symmetry in a flower and the merosity. What are they? Let's understand. Symmetry of the flower. I hope in zoology also you have studied in the chapter Animal Kingdom. There is a bilateral, radial, and asymmetric symmetry. Same way symmetry is also found in the particularly this flower also. In symmetry, the flower may be actinomorphic. Actinomorphic means radial symmetry, or zygomorphic means bilateral symmetry, or asymmetric means irregular. I hope you know the meaning, but let's understand this because it is covered. It get covered in the Animal Kingdom chapter. Now, actinomorphic. Actinomorphic is a radial symmetry, means the flower which can be divided into two equal radial halves in any radial plane passing through the center. Means if we cut a flower from the particular to the any plane which is passing through the center, and it is dividing this particular flower into the two equal halves or the same halves, then we can call it as a radial symmetry or actinomorphic. See, this is the flower. Either actually you cut in this the dotted line which is shown here, you cut them in any way. Either you can cut in a this way, or either you cut in a this way, or either you cut in a this way, either you cut in this way. They are going to form over two equal halves. But the division plane must pass through the center. Then it is known as radial symmetry, and it is seen in case of mustard. Same is visible. You can see here also datura. and it is also visible same thing in the gene. So it is actinomorphic symmetry. So you should remember the example. Mustard is a dicot. The Tura chili, they are dicot. Mustard is an example of the Brassicaceae family. The Tura chili you will study in the Solanaceae. Okay. So this is the thing we will study. Okay. Next is zygomorphic. Zygomorphic is a bilateral symmetry. So here a flower can be divided into two similar halves only in one particular vertical plane. Means if we divide a flower and the division plane is passing through the center, but from only one plane if we divide, then and then only flower can be divided into the two equal half, then it is known as zygomorphic or the bilateral symmetry. And you can see in this flower, if you cut from this point only or this plane only, then it can be divided into the two equal halves. From any other plane you will not able to divide it into the two equal halves, so it is a zygomorphic or bilateral symmetry. Now this is the P. Okay, P show this particular one. Apart from this, you can cut this also in this plane, and this is a Gulmohar. So in P and Gulmohar, you will see the presence of zygomorphic symmetry. Okay, dear students, I hope you understood this. Apart from Gulmohar and P, some other examples are there, like beam. In this only you can cut from this plane. And one more example is that there also you can cut into two equal halves from any one plane, that is a cashew. So this is the zygomorphic or bilateral symmetry. Now the third type of symmetry is asymmetry or irregular symmetry. And in asymmetry or irregular symmetry, you will see that the flower which cannot be divided into two similar halves by any vertical plane passing through the center. If we divide a flower from any vertical plane passing through the center, we are not able to cut that into the two equal halves, then it is known as asymmetry. Okay, and the example is canna. Okay, so you can see that is a asymmetry because they have the irregular pattern. So I hope you understood this. That is the symmetry. Now the second part which we are going to discuss in this, that is merosity. Now I hope you are wondering that what is merosity? What is it? It is the number of component parts in each wall of a plant structure or a flower structure, we can say. What number of component parts? Means in flower, how many sepals are there in a calyx? How many petals are in a calyx? If we count such things, then it will be the part of merosity. So flower can be trimerous, tetramerous, pentamerous based on the number of floral appendages. So trimerous, tetramerous, and pentamerous are the floral appendages which are in multiple of 3, 4, and 5. If sepals are 3 and petals are 3, then it is known as trimerous. If sepal petals are like floral appendages are 4, then it is tetramerous. If the floral appendages same are 5, then it is a pentamerous. So trimerous. See, here 1, 2, 3 petals are there. Tetramerous. Here also 4 petals are there. Here 5 petals are there. So this way you can say that the merosity of this first flower is a trimerous, then the tetramerous, then the pentamerous, which is designating the number of floral parts. Now, after merosity, in a flower, if you see, then they have a bract, and it is not such that all flower will have a bract. Some will have this bract, and some will not. So, flower with a bract found at the base of the pedicel means at the base of the pedicel you will see the presence of this bract. And if at the base of the pedicel or the base of the flower you will see the presence of bract, then it is a bracteate flower. If the bract is absent, then it is an ebracteate. Okay. Now, before studying this, first we need to understand what is bract. Suppose this is a flower and this is a stem. This is a pedicel. And at the base of this, you will see the presence of leaf. This leaf-like structure at the base of the flower or pedicel, it is known as bract. If this bract is present, it is a bracteate flower. If absent, then it is a ebracteate flower. Now, after this thing, next we are going to describe the flower on the position, on the basis of position of calyx, corolla, and rosette on the thalamus with respect to the ovary. Means these three organs like calyx, corolla, and rosette are originating or positioned above the ovary, below the ovary, or at the same level of the ovary. On the basis of that, it is described. And in this first type of flower which we study, that is hypogynous, then we will study perigynous, and we will study the epigynous. First, which we are going to discuss, that is hypogynous flower. In the hypogynous flower, dear student, you will see that hypo means lower. Means the calyx, corolla, and androecium are located at a lower position compared to the gynoecium or ovary. Means ovary is going to occupy the highest position. Because of this statement is saying that in a hypogynous flower, the gynoecium occupies the highest position. And the other parts are situated below the gynoecium. So the ovary in this flower is superior, but other three walls are at a lower position, and the presence of other three walls based on the ovary, we're describing this thing. So the flower is known to be hypogynous flower. This hypogynous flower is found in case of mustard, then China rose, and the brinjal. Okay, and this is the diagram of hypogynous flower. See, what does that mean? This is the ovary, and this is the stamen. This is the petal, and this is the sepal. Sepal is forming the calyx, petal form a corolla, and stamen form androecium. These three are originated from the base of this ovary. Because of this, we are calling it as hypogynous flower. But ovary is at the top position, so ovary is superior. Okay, and it is found in mustard, China rose, and brinjal. Now, after this, we are going to talk about a perigynous flower. In this, gynoecium is situated at the center, and the other parts of the flower are located on the rim of the thalamus. Means the rim of the thalamus means at the same level of the ovary. Means almost at the same level. So such type of flower are known as perigynous, but ovary is inserted half within this peripheral part, so it is known as half inferior ovary. Usually, sometimes it is called as half superior as well as, but half superior is not commonly used. Half inferior ovary or semi-inferior ovary are the common term used for this. So, plum, peach, and rose are the flowers in which you will see the perigynous flower or a semi-inferior ovary. So in this perigynous, you can see that this is the pedicel, and this pedicel is getting elongated, and it is for coming to the fishman. This is the thalamus. So thalamus is expanded, and it is at the same level of the ovary, which is known as the rim. And at the rim, you will see the presence of origination of this stamen, petal, and calyx. Then it is known as perigynous flower. Apart from this, epigynous flower are there, and the epigynous flower, the thalamus deep cup shaped. Means thalamus grow upward and it encloses the ovary completely and getting fused with the ovary. So ovary is found to be inserted within the thalamus. whereas the other parts of the flower arise above the ovaries, then this type of flower are known to be or said to be inferior. It can be easily understood by the example diagram, but the examples in which the epigynous or inferior ovary is found, that is the guava, cucumber, ray floret of sunflower. Now, apart from this, particularly, we can say guava and cucumber and ray floret of the sunflower. In this floret also it is seen. Apple is also the example in which this is seen. Okay. Now, in epigynous flower, you can see this that the thalamus is enclosing the ovary completely. So this ovary is inserted completely within this, and the other like stamen, petal, and calyx are originating above for this. So the all these three are originating from the above the ovary, so it is epigynous. But ovary is inserted within, so it is a inferior ovary. Mainly, you get a question from the example, so you should remember this term and the example. Let's talk about some of the MCQs. When the flower can be divided into two equal halves by any radial plane, if any radial plane term is coming, then it is obviously going to be radial symmetry. And in plant, a radial symmetry is also known as actinomorphic symmetry. So that should be going to be the answer. Okay. Now, next question is actinomorphic symmetry is seen. We have seen the examples of the actinomorphic symmetry like mustard, datura, and chili. So P. Cassia Cana is not going to be the answer. The remaining one is the datura, and you will see the actinomorphic symmetry in this, so that is going to be answer. This P. Cassia and Cana, if we talk about the P and Cassia, they are showing the bilateral or zygomorphic symmetry, whereas Cana show the asymmetry nature. The example of asymmetric flower is just we have discussed that Cana is a example of asymmetric flower, so that is going to be the answer. Based on the number of floral leaves in each wall, the flowers are number of the floral leaves in each wall, the flowers are. So based on the number of floral leaves can be 3, 4, or 5. So they can be trimerous, tetramerous, or pentamerous. So it can be of the 3 types. Now, dear students, one more thing I would want to make you to understand. If suppose there are 6 floral leaves, means 6 petals are there. So you will not call it an hexamerous. You will put that if the 3 are outside and 3 are inside, and 6 are there, then you will put it into the 3, particularly what we can say trimerous, right? Because the one wall has 3 petals, the inner wall has another 2 petals. So because of this, it is known as trimerous flower. It has, in spite of having the 6 petals. The example of hypogynous flower is just we have discussed that the example of hypogynous flower are mustard, China rose, and brinjal. So mustard is not there, China rose is also not there, but brinjal is there. So brinjal is going to be the answer. Which type of flower show inferior ovary? Just we have discussed the particularly perigynous, epigynous flower show the inferior ovary, and this epigynous flower are the flower in which all other 3 floral parts apart from the ovary are situated or originated above the ovary. And this epigynous flower is seen in case of the guava, apple, cucumber, and the ray floret of the sunflower. Okay, so this is up to the types of flower based on the position of ovary, merosity, and symmetry. That 3 things we have discussed now. After discussing these characteristics features of this flower, we are too much interested. We should be interested to understand much more about the flower with respect to its walls. So the flower and the parts of the flower are calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium, which are a group of sepal, petal, stamen, and carpel, respectively. And all these 4 walls need to be understood in detail. So we are going to talk about this now. So parts of a flower. Now, normally flower has a four floral wards as we have discussed earlier, that are calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. We know this. So first we are going to discuss in detail about the calyx. So dear students, know that calyx is the outermost wall of the flower and the members are called sepals. Means calyx is nothing but a group of sepals. Okay. And it is present outermost in the flower. Generally, if you see the sepals, they are green and leaf-like, comparatively somewhat smaller in size compared to the petals. And the important role of it to protect the flower in the bud stage. When from bud stage flowers start growing, the sepals get free from each other somewhat, okay, in some of the flowers, and the corolla and stamen and carpel grow and will make a beautiful flower. Now, in some cases, these sepals are going to be seen to be fused. Then the term is used, that is gamosepalous, and that is a condition in which you will see that the sepals are united or fused, and it can be seen in case of the datura, cotton, and brinjal. In case of datura, cotton, and brinjal. So you can see here the sepals are united. You can see they are forming a one common thing by the fusion. Then it is a gamosepalous condition. Next, sepals can be free from each other. They are not united. They are not in a fused condition. Then the term is used, that is polysepalous condition. So gamo is term used for the fusion and the poly means for the separate. In polysepalous conditions, sepals are free from one another, and that is seen in case of the mustard and radish. That is seen in case of the mustard and radish. So you can see here the sepals are free from each other. See, here you can see these are free from here. But in gamosepalous condition, they are fused from this side, this point. Okay. So this is the terminology which is used for the polysepalous or gamosepalous condition in case of the calyx. After this, the another thing which we are going to discuss, that is a corolla. When we talk about a corolla, it is a composed of petals or a group of petals, and this wall is present inner to the calyx. If we talk about corolla, it is a group of petal, and these petals are usually brightly colored, and they are brightly colored because they should be attractive in nature, and so due to this bright color, they attract the insect for pollination. Like calyx, corolla also be gamopetals. Corolla also be gamopetals. Gamo means fused. So petals, when are in a fused condition, it is known as gamopetals, as in the dura it can be seen. And a polypetals condition means the free petals are seen in case of the rose. So here also petals when fused, the gamo term is used. The petals free, then the poly term is used. Here you can see in this is showing a fusion. These are the petals, and this showing a gamopetalous condition. But here the petals are free, and that particularly showing a polypetalous condition. Okay. Now this is the gamopetalous condition. Actually, yes, it is not a polypetalous. It is open state, and they are fused. Actually, they are fused, so it is gamopetalous. Sorry for this interruption. Okay. Here, this you can see this are fused in condition. So this is also showing a gamopetalous condition. Here you can see the polypetalous condition. See, petals are free from each other. Okay, so it is a polypetalous flower. Now, there are different forms of corolla. Okay, there are different forms of corolla. So first we are going to talk about the forms of corolla. Okay, and how they are found, that we will discuss. First, when we talk about forms of corolla, first we are going to discuss actinomorphic, polypetalous corolla. And when we talk about actinomorphic, means radial symmetry showing polypetalous corolla or free corolla. In this, we take one form of corolla, and that is known as cruciform corolla. When we study cruciform corolla in detail, you will come to understand that in cruciform corolla, four petals are found. Here, how many? Four petals are going to be seen. And these four petals are arranged crosswise, and they are arranged crosswise. They are arranged crosswise. So they are arranged like this. So you can see they are seen in a crosswise. Here, this and this. Like this, they are seen in a crosswise, then it is known as a cruciform corolla. In this one petal, the lower narrow part is known as claw. So claw is what? Lower narrow part. And if you talk about the broad part, the upper broad part is known as limb. Okay, so this way they are seen, and such type of cruciform corolla is seen in case of the example like radish and mustard. This radish and mustard both belongs to the cruciferae or Brassicaceae family. Brassicaceae or cruciferae family means they are members of this, and in this family the corolla seem to be of a characteristic of cruciform type. Now after this we will be discussing about the actinomorphic gamopetalic corolla. Actually actinomorphic corolla we have discussed in this polypetalous free petals, how they are arranged, that we have discussed. Now after this we are going to talk about actinomorphic gamopetalic, means fused corolla we are going to discuss. So the shape and corolla of vary greatly in plants, and corolla may be tubular. So this is going to be seen here. So first we use a term or a heading for this, and that is actinomorphic gamopetalous corolla. In actinomorphic gamopetalous corolla, We will be studying the fused corolla and showing a radial symmetry. In this, we are going to study of four types. We will discuss first one, that is a tubular. Then we will study a campanulate or bell shape. They are fused and forming a bell shaped thing, then it is known as campanulate. Third one is funnel shape or infundibuliform. And fourth one is of a type that is wheel shaped or rotate. So now if we talk about this four type, then first we will be discussing here of a tubular type. So corolla may be tubular as in the disc floret of Asteraceae. Actually, this is found example is what disc floret. And here you can see when we take example of disc floret, in the disc floret you will see the stigma, this is the anther, and this is the corolla. So here if you see corolla, these are fused and they are in a gamopetalous condition. So here the first type we are discussing, that is tubular, and the tubular floret is found in the disc floret of Asteraceae family or Compositae family, and the example of Asteraceae family is sunflower. Okay, there you will see such type of why it is known as tubular. So because in this five petals fuse and form a tubular or tube-like or cylindrical structure. In tubular, what happens? The five petals fuse and form a tube-like or cylindrical structure. Okay, so that is the tubular one. The next one is corolla may be in actinomorphic gamopetalous condition. It can be funnel shape, and the funnel shape is known as what? Infundibuliform. This funnel shape is also known as infundibuliform. Now, funnel shaped or infundibuliform means in this five petals are found to be fused, and the fused shape is similar to funnel. And the example of this is the tura. As you can see, it is forming a funnel shaped structure here. Because of this, we are naming it as a funnel shaped. The third one is a wheel shaped, and the fourth one is bell shaped. In wheel shaped, you will see, which is also known as or rotate. In this, five gamopetalous petals are found, and they fused, and the fused parts form a small tube-like structure. At the back side, you will see some of tube-like structure by the fusion of this particular five petals, and the petals are arranged in a hole above the tube. So here at the base, you will see the particular tube. Okay, like this. I can, if I make a diagram of this, it is like this tube-like. But then, sorry, actually I'm. Let's remove this. So if you want to make a particular visible diagram for this rotate, like this, you will see three petals, but at the base side you will see that they are forming a one tube like structure. So tube like structure is there, and above this you will see this particular three petals which are visible in the shape of wheel or rotate. And this wheel or rotate will be seen in case of brinjal. Whereas the next one is a bell shaped, which is also named as campanulate. Okay. In this, five petals are present, and the shape is similar to the bell. You can see the five petals are fusing and forming a bell-shaped curve. Because of bell-shaped, particularly a petal, then it is known as a disc-shaped, and it is found in campanula. So in all this, you can see the gamopetalous condition and the radial symmetry. Because of this, they are placed in the actinomorphic gamopetalae corolla. Now after this, next we are going to talk about zygomorphic corolla, and the next one is zygomorphic polypetalous corolla. Now zygomorphic polypetalous corolla, in this if you talk about a form, then this form is known as papilionaceous. Papilionaceous corolla, if we talk, so in this five petals are found. And when we talk about these five petals, you will see that out of these five petals, one is a large petal found on this side, and this largest petal is known as petal, which is known as standard or vexillum. Standard or vexillum. And this largest petal is present on posterior side. Whereas this largest petal which is present on the posterior side, that is standard or vexillum, this covers two lateral petals. This covers two lateral petals, and these two lateral petals are known as wings or alae. And these wings or alae cover the innermost anterior petal, which are also two in number, but they are fused. This is condition showing the what fusion or united condition. So here, if we talk about this, these are the innermost fused petals, and this innermost petals are present on anterior side of the flower, which are known as kill or carina. So this papilionaceous corolla, if we talk about the example, it is seen in pea, bean, gram, arhar, and this, for example, are of Papilionaceous, or they belong to Papilionate. Okay, so this is the thing which you can see here. So it is a Papilionaceous corolla which show the zygomorphic symmetry because we can cut from this only one way which can give rise to the two equal half. Okay. This papillonaceous corolla is also named as butterfly shaped corolla. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Now, after this, next we are going to talk about zygomorphic gamopetalic corolla. The zygomorphic gamopetalous corolla, if we talk, in this that is going zygomorphic means it is going to show a bilateral symmetry. And apart from this, the gamopetalous condition is going to be seen means they are fused in nature. So in this two type we are going to discuss. The first type is bilabiate. Now what it means? Bilabiate means the petals of this gamopetalous corolla are divided into two leaves. Into two lips, and the place between two lips is called corolla mouth. Okay, so here you will see the condition somewhat like this. Suppose like this you can see. So here you will see this is divided into two parts. Because of this, it is known as bilabiate. And this bilabiate corolla is seen in case of the example like ossimum and ossimum sanctum is a scientific name for the holy basil, which is also known as tulsi in some parts of India. Another example is salvia, and which both belong to Labiatea family. Okay. Now after this, next we are going to talk about another type, and the another type is a second type of this zygomorphic gamopetalous corolla, and that is ligulate. And ligulate is the upper part of corolla, is long in this. The upper part of corolla is long, flattened, tongue-like, okay, and which is attached to short narrow tube. So in this, you will see the diagram like this. This is the narrow tube-like structure you will see. And above this, you will see the particular structure which is formed like this. So there's the corolla, which is here you will see it is a like tube-like, narrow tube-like. And here it is long flattened, tongue-like. Then this is known as the ligulate corolla. And this gamopetalous zygomorphic corolla is found in ray floret of sunflower. Now, this is all about the different forms of corolla. Now we are going to talk about the estivation in this carex and corolla. Now, when we talk about this estivation, the estivation is a mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in a floral bud is known as estivation. Means how the members of sepals are arranged with either. Means how one sepal is arranged with another sepal, and how the petals are arranged with the petals. That we are going to understand in this estivation. The main types of estivation which are seen are valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. If you talk about all four types, the first one is the valvate. If you see this valvate, in this the sepals or petals in a wall just touch one another at the margin. Means here petals or sepals are lying adjacent to each other. They just touch one another at the margin without overlapping. Then such type of estivation is known as valvate estivation. This is seen in case of the calotropis. So here you can see this is the diagram. So what is estivation that we have discussed? Okay. So in this, the valvate estivation, if you see, you can see these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five petals are there. They are just touching with each other without overlapping. You can see here also they are not overlapping. Their ends are not overlapping each other. They are just touching with each other. Okay, then it is known as valvate. It is not only seen in calotropis plant, but it is also seen in case of the members of crucifery, solanaceae, and Liliaceae. So what is estivation that we have discussed already? First type already also discussed. The second type is twisted. And in this twisted type of estivation, one margin of the appendage overlap the margin of the next one. So in this, margin of the petal cover or overlap the adjacent petal, and the other margin, one margin covers the adjacent petal and the other margin is covered by the previous petal. So one margin of the petal overlap that of the next one, and the other margin is overlapped by the another one, then it is known as twisted estivation. And this twisted estivation is seen in case of the China rose, ladyfinger, cotton. So here you can see this particular diagram. This China rose, this ladyfinger, and in case of the cotton. You can see here this C. This end is overlapping and this end is getting overlapped by the previous one. Such a thing is happening everywhere. So this is known as twisted condition C. This is overlapped by this one, but this is overlapped by this one, but this is overlapping this one. Okay. Same way here also you can see the overlapping. Here also so you can see the overlapping. Here also you can see the overlapping. Then it's overlapping is seen in case of the twisted. So in definition, one important statement that need to be written here that one margin of petal overlap one margin of the petal overlap that of the next one, means margin of the next one or next petal, and other margin is overlapped by another one. So if you take this petal, this margin you can see it is getting overlapped and this margin is overlapping. So such is known as a twisted condition. Now we are going to talk about the third type of estivation, that is imbricate. Now if you talk about this imbricate, you will see that the margins of sepals or petals overlap one another but not in any particular direction. Here you are not going to see any particular direction. And if you see, this type is seen in case of the cassia or gulmohar and gulmohar. This is the cassia, this is the gulmohar. Here you can see that the one is totally inside and both the margins are covered by the another one, overlapping one. Here this one is overlapping here and getting overlapped by this one. Here it is overlapping here and getting overlapped by here. But this one is also overlapped by this one. So it is totally outside and it is totally inside, and other three are in overlapping condition. Same you can see here also. This is totally inside, this is totally outside, and other three are in overlapping condition. And when this is the posterior side. So when the innermost is on the posterior side, then or posterior petal is the innermost, which means the both margins are overlapped, then it is known as ascending imbricate. Ascending imbricate when posterior petal is located innermost. Okay, so when such condition is seen, you can see here this is an overlapping condition, this is the innermost, this is overlapping on both the side, and this is overlapping on the most, this is overlapping here and getting overlapped by here. So such condition you can see. Same you can see in Gulmohar also. Gulmohar is also known as Dallonyx regia. Okay. Now after imbricate, the next type which we are going to discuss, that is vexillary, which is also known as a descendingly imbricate estivation. In this, there are 5 petals, and in the plant showing this type of estivation, the largest petal overlaps the 2 lateral petals or wings, and which in turn overlap the 2 smallest anterior petals. That is a kill. And this we have discussed already in case of the papillonaceous corolla. This type of estivation is known as vexillary. And what is the other name of vexillary estivation? Then this is papillonaceous corolla, we can say. Now here you will see that this exact condition is seen here. In case of pea flower, you can see this is the bean flower, and here you can see this is the largest standard. This is the wings or LA, or this is the kilo corolla which is fused, and this is our largest standard. This is 2 lateral wings or LA, or this is the kilo corolla. So here the corolla is showing one outermost, two inner and the 2 innermost which are fused. In this way, this significant symbolic representation is used for vexillary estivation. Here also you can see this is the largest one, this is the lateral, and innermost you will see. Here also you will see this is the largest one, this is the lateral one, and the innermost is present here. So it is seen in case of the pea and bean flowers, and this is particularly pea and bean flower are of the Papillonatae, are the example of Papillonatae, that is subfamily of leguminous family. Okay, so this is the vexillary estivation. Okay, dear students, I hope you understood this. After vexillary estivation, the another 4th type is remaining that we are going to. The other 4th type we have already discussed. Another 5th type of estivation is there, that is known as quincunxial. In this quincunxial estivation, total 5 petals are present. Two are completely internal, two are completely internal, two are completely external, and two are completely external, and the remaining petal is in overlapping condition. You can see such thing like this, that this is the outermost which is covering, this is the inside, this is also inside, this is outside, and this is in overlapping condition. So you can see these two are totally inside, these two are completely outside, these two are completely inside, and this is an overlapping condition. Then it is known as quincunxial. And quincunxial is seen in case of example like Murray. Okay, so this is the initial condition. So let's talk about some MCQ. Which is the outermost part of the flower? And dear students, if you understand this, you know that the calyx is the outermost part of the flower and it is the outermost wall. So calyx, which is a group of sepals, becomes the answer. If sepals are united, the condition is said to be yes. For united condition, gamo word is used, and here sepals. So the term is going to be used, that is the gamocephalous. Which of the following is correct with respect to the polysepalous condition? Poly means free and sepalous means sepals. So free sepals is going to be the answer. Example of funnel shaped corolla. Funnel shaped corolla, if we talk, then this funnel shaped corolla is also named as infundibuliform. This is seen in case of the datura as well as petunia. So datura is going to be the answer. What is estivation? Arrangement of sepals or arrangement of sepals or petals. So it is a sepals or petals arrangement that is known as estivation. So third is going to be the answer. What is the example of twisted estivation? Twisted estivation, if we take C, then we have seen that the examples of twisted estivation are cotton, ladder, and China rose. So cotton is going to be the answer. Okay, so this is about what we can say a corolla in complete detail. Now in flower parts, in today's lecture, we have covered with the calyx and corolla in detail. In the next lecture, we will talk about the another two floral parts or essential floral parts, that is androecium and gynoecium. Till that, thank you everyone.